Hello everyone and welcome back to my podcast To Be Coined. I'm your host Jeetu Raghani and it's good to be back. I hope you people enjoyed the last week's episode. This week I'm going to speak about the coins of United States of America. The story of the US circulating coins began long before the opening of the National Mint in 1792. Before national coinage, a mix of foreign and domestic coins circulated both during the colonial period and in the years following the Revolutionary War. In 1787, after much debate about national coinage, Congress authorized the production of copper cents, which are called Fugio cents. The coin features a sundial on the obverse and a chain of 13 links on the reverse. The Coinage Act of 1792 established a national mint located in Philadelphia. Congress chose decimal coinage in parts of 100 and set the US dollar to the already familiar Spanish milled dollar and its fractional parts like half, quarter, eighth, 16th. This resulted in coins of the following metals and denominations. The half cent and cent coins were produced in copper. The half dime, quarter, half dollar and dollar coins were produced in silver, while the quarter eagle, which is the $2.50, and half eagle, which is $5, and eagle, $10, were produced in gold. In 1792, during construction of the new mint, 1500 silver half-dime coins were made. According to the legend, these half-dime coins were minted from Martha Washington's silverware and were not released into circulation. For those of you who do not know who Martha Washington is, she was the wife of USA's first president, George Washington, or you could call her the First Lady of America. The mint delivered the nation's first circulating coins on March 1, 1793, with a total of 11,178 copper cents. These new cents caused a bit of public outcry. They were larger than the modern quarter, a bulky size for a small change. The image of Liberty on the obverse showed her hair streaming behind her and her expression in a fright. The reverse featured a chain of 15 links, similar to the Fugio cent. Now here are the top 10 rare US coins. Not long after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, in 1776, the new United States Congress decided to assert its freedom by striking the first true American currency. It was called the Silver Continental Dollar. The design is a whimsical motif which includes the words Fugio and Mind Your Business, along with the 13 interlocking rings representing the colonies. Many coins were struck in pewter and only a few dozens of them are still in existence, but the silver version of the coin is very rare. Before New York adopted the new constitution in 1789, it had the right to issue its own state coinage like the other states. Goldsmith Ephraim Brasher got one of those contracts to mint copper coins, but it appears that he largely ignored that material and went on to produce several very artistic gold specimens for reasons unknown. Just 7 of these unique coins are known to exist, and hence the name, the Brasher doubloon. The administration in 1834 wanted to give out coin sets to foreign dignitaries, but the problem was that the silver dollars hadn't been pressed for more than 30 years. So the mint was ordered to press 8 silver coins for the occasion, and they were dated 1804. These coins were called the draped bust dollar. Today, each coin roughly has a value of over $1 million. The New Orleans Mint came under the control of the Confederate States in 1861, but without a reserve of precious metals, the South chose paper money instead of coinage to support their war efforts. The few Confederate cents and half dollars that were struck were virtually unknown until they began popping up in private collections after the Civil War. Now, this famous silver coin owned by the DuPont family was the target of a heist in 1967, and the coins were recovered just a few years ago. Just a few denominations and probably only the one DuPont dollar were produced without the classic "In God We Trust" motto in 1866. According to some sources, it was upon special request from a collector and friend of mint executives, a pharmacist who provided opium to the workers in return. Three of the most coveted collector coins, the 1870 half dime, the 1870 silver dollar, and the 1870 gold $3 coin, came from the year when construction began on a new mint in San Francisco. Just a few coins in those denominations were produced in that year, most of which were destined to be embedded in the foundation's cornerstone. This 5-cent piece is a numismatic legend. Despite being retired in 1912, 5 nickels with the Liberty Head design were struck in 1913 and came into the possession of one man. The collector started a rumor about their existence, driving up the value of the nickel if one was ever found, but neglecting to mention that he had all 5. They were sold a few years later, and on a recent change of hands, one was valued at $3 million. In 1933, with the Depression in full swing, President Roosevelt took the country off the gold standard and recalled all gold coins for melting. About a dozen never made it back to the mint or was smuggled out again by enterprising employees, including this one, the St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which resurfaced in 1992 and was confiscated by the Secret Service. In 1933, it had a face value of $20, but in 2002, it was sold at an auction for over $7 million. The Second World War meant big rationing on copper, and the US Mint was no exception. Most wartime pennies were instead made of brass steel alloy, except for a few struck from the outlawed bronze, a copper alloy. If you find one of these anomalies, the common brass version will stick to a magnet, while the bronze won't. It could be worth big bucks. With the rising price of copper in the early 1970s, it almost cost as much to make a cent as the penny was worth. The US Mint tested alternatives like this aluminum penny that was sent out to VIPs as a sample and then never recouped. Following are some of the commemorative coins. The Colombian half dollar is a coin issued by the Bureau of Mint in 1892 and 1893. This coin is considered to be the first US commemorative coin to be issued by the Mint. This coin was issued to mark the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus' voyage to America. The 5 Panama Pacific commemorative coins were produced in connection with the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco. Struck at that city's mint, the issue included round and octagonal $50 pieces. Excepting modern bullion coins, these 2 gold pieces are the highest denomination ever issued and the largest coins ever struck by the United States Mint. The octagonal $50 piece is the only US coin to be issued that is not round. The United States sesquicentennial coin issue consisted of a commemorative half dollar and quarter eagle struck in 1926 at the Philadelphia Mint for the 150th anniversary of American independence. The obverse features portraits of the first president, George Washington, and the president in 1926, Calvin Coolidge, making it the only American coin to depict a president in his lifetime. The Library of Congress bimetallic eagle is a modern US commemorative coin issued in the $10 denomination. It is the first gold and platinum bimetallic coin to be issued by the United States Mint in the year 2000. Mark Twain remains one of the best known Americans in the world, with more than 6,500 editions of his books translated into 75 languages. The United States Mint was authorized to strike and issue 100,000 $5 gold coins and 350,000 $1 silver coins to commemorate Mark Twain's life and legacy. The road to securing voting rights for women is paved with the efforts of countless suffrage activists who worked tirelessly for more than 7 decades, conducting over 900 local, state, and federal campaigns. The 2020 Women's Suffrage Centennial Silver $1 coin celebrates the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which profoundly changed the nation. The obverse side features overlapping profiles of 3 distinct women. Each woman is wearing a different type of hat to symbolize the many decades the suffrage movement spanned. The reverse side shows 2020 being dropped into a ballot box, styled with Art Deco elements to indicate the artistic style of the era. Votes for Women is inscribed inside a circle on the front of the box. It is now time for the interesting fact of the day. A 1794 silver dollar, popularly known as the flowing hair dollar, is to be believed by the experts as the first dollar coin to be struck by the US Mint. It was sold for a record $10 million at an auction in 2013. This coin broke its own previous record of $4.1 million, which was set way back in the year 1999. And that concludes my today's episode. I thank you all for joining me on my podcast To Be Coined. I hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my next episode on July 19. Goodbye.